The local spotlight shines with Chatham-Kent's only locally owned and operated radio station. 99.1 CKXS.
All right, live outside the Fishbowl, Jay Smith on James Street in downtown Wallaceburg. We are live, and it's been a long time since we've been able to say that. Yeah. Jonas Tomalty is with us outdoors in a beautiful, beautiful sunshine-filled Tuesday afternoon. Thank you for making the trip down.
Thank you for ordering this beautiful weather. We are just absolutely pleased to be here. It is, we've longed for this as much as you have. As much as the listeners have too, to get back, start playing live music, come out and meet up with the radio stations that are supporting us, and get some road miles across this beautiful country of ours.
Lots of gas in the RV too.
There's a lot of gas consumption in the RV, and especially considering we've got all the gear that we need to basically put a show out on the middle in the middle of the street. So some of it's not being used today, but and the other half is baby clothes, basically. And maybe a couple of beers.
Hey, man, that's great. We'll stick around for that after. You've got a great setup here, by the way. And it takes me back. It's like the old school busking days almost that we've got setting up shop here. Jonas Tomalty with us outside the studio. Let me correct myself. Juno nominated Jonas Tomalty. Does that now get transcribed onto your birth certificate once that happens?
Yeah. It would be nice if it was Juno winner, but we were up against Nickelback that year.
That happens.
Anyway, right now, and you were talking about this sort of old school setup, the Winnebago and the music out in the street, and I think that goes it goes to show what as Canadian musicians, artists need to do right now.
Yeah.
Why I think that we're kind of the perfect candidates to be able to get over something like this. We are intuitively creative, and we are used to being broke. So you know what I mean. And I think that putting all of those necessities together, and music is a necessity. I think that artists are the perfect candidates to be able to rise above what's going on right now.
It's been a crazy time, right? And it's been half a year now, and everyone's frustrated. There's, of course, the concern about our own mental health that comes with all of this. And music plays such a role, I think, whether you know it or not. Music is therapy, right? Music it allows us to escape reality sometimes, and that's a big part of what you're doing too, right?
For the listener and for the artist.
There you go.
The artist to create it and be able to have an expression and be able to unload their stresses. I think so. I think on top of this being a stressful time for artists, it's also. Maybe there'll be some creativity that comes out of this as well.
I like what you're saying, too. There is a way. There's always a way. And we know the concert halls, the venues have been closed for quite some time, but there is still a way to get exposure and, more importantly, to just celebrate the music. It's been a big part of your life. I don't want to date you, but you've been doing this for quite some time now, my friend.
It has. It's been a minute. I was. I did get a really early start. I was in a band called Rubberman when I was 14, and we got signed out of high school. So that was pretty much, it etched what I was going to be doing. I wasn't also, but I was really terrible at working for people, having a boss. So that also was, helped direct sort of where I was headed. And I think that, also coming from Montreal, that's a very inspired city, and especially 20 years ago, maybe 25 years ago. We had a lot of live venues, a lot of places that promoted young, upcoming bands. So it was a great place to come up, to cut my teeth, and to be also surrounded by wonderful music and wonderful fans. Because to come back to that, it really does take a culture to be able to support a band and support an artist.
You know what, mentioning the roots, of course, in Montreal and Quebec, the Quebec and Francophone music scene, vastly underrated throughout history in the Great White North, and a lot that really Canadian music fans don't realize has been there. I believe your first, cup of coffee in the industry was a lot of Francophone music as well, right?
Well, it was French fans, to be honest. I, as an Anglophone who's bilingual, I was brought up in a province, especially once you get outside of Montreal, that's very predominantly French, and I kind of held back and kept the idea of doing French versions of my songs or writing French songs sort of at an arm's length for many years until probably 15 years into my career, when one of my managers just said, listen, I mean, if anything, if it's not for you, if anything, for a tribute almost to the Francophone fans in Quebec who have really been, your support system and your bread and butter since the beginning, why wouldn't you maybe try some French material? So I did do some translations and some traduction, as we would say in French, and Quebec really responded well to it. And again, it really goes to show, as a Montrealer, that it was a reflection of my culture. And even though I sang the songs with a bit of an accent, a bit of an English accent in them too, it was keeping that true to who I am.
Tip of the cap to where you came from.
Sure.
Awesome. And your career has been segmented in some ways, right? You talked about Rubberman early on.
Yeah.
You had Jonas. You had Jonas in the Massive Attraction. Jonas Tomalty. And with each step, things change. Is that just the maturation of you as a performer, and now as we see as a human, lots has changed in your life, man?
Yeah, there's is it a question of maturity? I don't know necessarily if it's about a maturity evolution, but there is an evolution. I think that all of us humans, whether we're artists or not, go through evolutions. I think, especially when you've had a 25-year career in music, people tend to watch your evolution going and point it out a little bit more. Artistically, I've always just wanted to keep moving, keep growing, keep trying things out, and not necessarily be locked into, Jonas the rocker or Jonas Tomalty the blues guy when I was a kid. So I think that it's always been important for me to sort of be a moving target creatively, and this has been adding my last name, Tomalty, onto the end of the project for the first time in my career. Is also a statement of being able to put out this album that is filled with all sorts of different inspirations. It's not just the rock and roll. It's not just R&B. It's not just pop. It's sort of it's a little bit of everything. And I didn't want to be afraid of having to stick with one sound.
Jonas Tomalty joins us here outside XS Studios, going to perform live with the Fam Jam here in mere moments. Tell us about that family.
I mean, so Carmen has been my backup vocalist for a few years now, and we started becoming more than just bandmates about 4 or 5 years ago, and that developed into an amazing music relationship, an amazing romantic relationship, but also we've recently got a home and a beautiful little Lennon over there, a baby boy who's 7 months old, and he was born weeks before the lockdown. So we went into a very interesting artistic sort of recovery mode. Like, how are we going to do this so that, first of all, we stay sane in this lockdown? How are we going to do it so that we keep creative? And how are we going to do it so that we keep in communication with our fans? And so Facebook Live, Instagram Live, those kind of formats became our go-to and became our fans' go-to. And it was funny because the lockdown happened on a Monday, and we actually did our first Facebook Live on the Saturday. And we did about 7, 8 of them. We did a GoFundMe page for the project, but also for our fellow musicians and for the Fondation des Artistes du Québec, the Quebec Artists Foundation. And we raised like $7,000 and redistributed that. And it sort of became a bit of a mission for us. And so what grew from that was she started playing a little bit more keys. She hadn't been playing a lot of keyboards, and I learned how to play the bass. So on top of playing guitar, we sing, we play bass keys, and we put a set together. And now that the rooms are such low capacity maximums, and I know that it's even 10 people here right now in Ontario and Quebec, we still have 50 people capacities. We just played some shows last week. So what we've done is we've formed this new show. It's the family. It's Carmen. It is Lennon sometimes on the side and the shaker, or back vocaling, and we're keeping the music and the love alive.
Lennon was practicing on the shaker here earlier. We'll see if he can give it a shot while we're live here. Moments. What a well-behaved kid, too. You're doing something right, Mom and Dad, stepping into this, especially in these crazy times. So job well done. Congrats on the little one as well. A new album next year. That's the plan, right?
Yeah. I mean, the plan was this year, but we're going with the flow. And we've got a really understanding label and team in Andrea and in our label back home and in the Orchard and Sony. Everybody's been really cool. So what we're going to do is we are going to release another single probably sometime in the fall, preceding Closer, and we're going to probably put the album out. I think we're looking at January or February 2021.
We'll hold you to it.
Stay tuned, man.
I will send some love to our pal Andrea Morris of AM to FM Promotions as well. We've been working alongside Andrea literally since day one of starting this station, who is always helping out independent artists across this country as well. And sometimes it's hard to find those good helping hands, as I'm sure you found out over 100%.
The years. And somebody who can link together people like myself and yourself and put together something like this today. So more of that.
This is tremendous, and we haven't even gotten to the live music yet. So again, thank you so much. Before we get there, we're going to play the latest single. Tell us about Closer, Jonas.
So yeah, the album's got 12 tracks on it, and I was really stuck on writing all of the songs on this album myself. But there was one or two that were just put in front of me, written by other people, that I absolutely fell in love with. Closer is one of them. I sort of Jonasized it, if you will, in some ways. I worked with my producer on making it fit into the album, but the song itself just rang true to me, and we had no idea that the chorus "Don't Get Any Closer" was going to be so appropriate in the age of the pandemic. But so Closer is also I think it's a good launching pad for where I want it to go. It's a bit of a departure from what I've done in the past, and I think that it shows people a little bit of where I'm going with the emotive indie sort of pop in some elements. And it's one of the tastes of the things that you're going to hear on the album when it comes out.
Looking forward to it. Jonas Tomalty here with us outside of XS Studios. He will be live outside the Fishbowl in just mere moments. Here's that new single, Closer. Jonas Tomalty on 99.1 FM, CKXS.
I don't understand. The clarity is missing every time I look in the mirror. Like I'm staring at an empty room, like there ain't anybody here. And I can't help but feel I've lost myself by giving everything away. I'm nothing more than just an empty shell. So why would anybody stay? And so the less you know about me, the better. 'Cause everybody else has left me behind. And still I let myself be broken 1,000 times. Now I'm running out of tries. Don't get any closer. I can't be the one to know you. I won't be the one to hold you. Don't get any closer. Still the feeling of you brings me back. How much I crave not being alone. But every second I get pushed off track. There's nowhere else that I can go. And so the less you know about me, the better. 'Cause everybody else has left me behind. And still I let myself be broken 1,000 times. And I'm running out of tries. Don't get any closer. I can't be the one to know you. I won't be the one to hold you. Don't get any closer. So don't get any closer. closer. Don't get any closer. Don't you get any closer. And so the less you know about me, the better. 'Cause everybody else has left me behind. And still I've let myself be broken 1,000 times. Now I'm running out of tries. Don't get any closer. I can't be the one to know you. I won't be the one to hold you. Don't get any closer.
This one also is found on the upcoming album. It's a song called Carolina. Carolina, if only you could teach me about love. What if I put dust in your hand? Could you turn it into diamonds? Everything you touch lights a spark, shows me where to find it. If I were to call at 3 a.m., could you turn my crying to silence? Sing me a lullaby, better times. Standing between four walls, no more songs I'm playing. Calling from a distant hall, can you hear what I'm saying? Carolina, if only you could take me. Carolina, open your arms and reach me. Meet me by the moon and show me how to shine for you. Carolina, if only you could teach me about love. If I were to call at 3 a.m., could you turn my crying to silence? Sing me a lullaby, better times. Standing between four walls, no more songs are playing. I'm calling from a distant hall, can you hear what I'm saying? Carolina, if only you could see me. Carolina, open your arms and reach me. Meet me by the moon and show me how to shine for you. Carolina, if only you could teach me by your light. My heart beats steady tonight. By your light, my heart beats steady tonight. Oh, oh, Carolina, if only you could teach me about love.
Jonas Tomalty and the fam here at 99.1 CKXS. We might have to make these outdoor shows happen a little more often. Thank you guys again for doing this, and thank you for being courageous enough to find a different way to go about this live music thing. Jonas, Carmen, and Lennon, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys so much too, and I also invite everybody
Thanks for
to join my Instagram at Jonas Tomalty, Facebook Jonas Tomalty website, because there'll be lots of little snippets from today and from our little adventure in our caravan of love over here. So
Give the RV place a mention. I think.
absolutely,
Go for it.
Yeah, honestly, Suntan RV and Marine have been super supportive. They're a great sponsorship. They've been absolutely wonderful, and we suggest that you go check out their amazing selection.
Thank you again for being here, guys. All the best on the road as you keep this rocking. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Cheers. All right.